Hello everyone, this is Sherwood from ReviewFi.com, bringing you the first of many to come video reviews. Tonight we've got 4 media players, what I found to be the most commonly used media players out right now, 3 of which I've used extensively, one of which is kind of just what I've heard about. First off, we've got them all in their widget form here, the iTunes player widget, Zune, and then the Winamp bar, and this is foobar in its entirety as it does not have a widget that I have found. We'll start off with iTunes. Started off with iTunes a few years ago, around generation 4, so I haven't used it in a while. It's a very basic setup, works especially well on a Mac. You just import your CDs and it organizes it very well, very straightforward, not a lot of flair to it. Great things about iTunes is the podcast, which is pretty much create your own radio / pre-recorded radio stations. You can make these. We might start doing that at ReviewFi, actually. Next, you have streaming radio. You just select the genre that you like, and then you can listen to music from that all day long. And it's free, so that's nice. My big problem with iTunes is always the iTunes Store. They've got a lot of rights to their music, so you can only download the music once, and if you lose it, such as you switch computers or something like that, that music's gone forever. So make sure you keep track of your music if you're buying it off the store. Luckily, I only spent like $10. There's been a couple neat features added in, such as the Genius DJing type thing. It's pretty much Last.fm or Pandora, but only using your iTunes library. So use that if you've got a big library. Next we've got Zune. Started using Zune more recently when I picked up my Zune HD, which Microsoft has actually, I don't know if they're making them anymore or if they're really sticking with the product. It's got a great layout compared to what it was with the original Zune. I've actually come to love it. You've got all your artists over here, pretty easy setup. Album, you can do it by date added, alphabetically, by release year, things like that. I like to keep it by date added because it just drops in whatever I've most recently downloaded, then all your tracks. My favorite thing about Zune would have to be Zune Pass. It's $15 a month for all the music you can download plus 10, quote, free downloads. So you get to keep 10 songs, which is about an album these days, I guess. We searched Band of Skulls up in the search box here. This is always there. And this is going to show you everything in your library by Band of Skulls, plus everything on Zune Marketplace that's available by Band of Skulls. So here's everything that they've released that's on Zune Market. All you can do is go in here. What I like to do is go to most played when I'm looking at a new artist, select the most played album and the most played song, and just hear what everybody's listening to, because I feel that that's usually what's the best. Or you can get unlucky and it's just one person that listens to a song a lot. My biggest disappointment with Zune would have to be the number of apps that are not available for it. These are all the Zune HD apps available. I think there's like 15. I might be overestimating, actually. But yeah, it ties in with Xbox Live if you have that as well. So all your friends and things like that that have it can do that. Next we have Winamp. Use Winamp right after iTunes. It's very aesthetically pleasing, I guess, if not redundant. This is pretty much a black iTunes setup right here. Black being in the color. And then the redundancy comes in up here with artists and then albums, which all that info is right here. The neatest feature about Winamp was always the visualization / aesthetic appeal, where you can add any plugin or skin you want. Like, for example, you can make Winamp look like an alien face that has ears that pop out and turn into speakers and vibrate with the music. The biggest problem with Winamp, though, was it's very spammy. Like, a lot of it is just trying to make money, since this player is free unless you buy the version, which pretty much just allows you to burn CDs really fast at burning speed. A lot of the spam comes in with Shoutcast Radio and things like that. This is pretty much like podcasts, except Winamp Shoutcast. When you download Winamp, you'll see what I'm talking about. If you download, like the whole, oh, get AOL and Winamp toolbar and 50 free downloads when you give us all your information and blah, 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 blah. This program is neat and useful, gets the job done pretty easily, but there are alternatives. Last and definitely least on my list is Foobar. This is Foobar 2000 version 1.1, so it's still a pretty young program. I've messed around with it for probably 10 minutes, and I'm not overly impressed. First off, when I double-click on songs in other programs, it should auto-play them, but you have to right-click and play, or I think you can just hit play up here, but that wasn't working before. Yeah, see, it's not working now. It's not replaying this song. So this program doesn't do a lot. I've read online that a lot of people like to use it, but I'm not seeing why. There's probably a lot of plugins and things you can get to streamline it a bit. So this was 4 basic media players. We've got iTunes, Zune, Winamp, and Foobar. Let me know what you think or if you use something different. Have a good night.